it will have an interpolation method in a linear way, and it will fill all the values. So if you have any doubts, you can also contact me personally, Kishore. I am available to you here. Now, let us, I think I shared my screen, right? So, today, I welcome you all for the final session. Maybe 2 sessions are going to happen in parallel. So, I welcome you all for the data pre-processing using Python topic. All right. So, what is data pre-processing? As we already know, in the life cycle of data science, the first task is to collect the data, and the second task is processing the data. Data handling the missing values is also part of data pre-processing. You can say like that. Cleaning the data is also data pre-processing. Now, so let us see, other than missing values, imagine all the values are available. Then what kind of pre-processing may be required in data science? Or you can say machine learning, because machine learning is a subset of data science. So you can also say that this topic is very well applicable to machine learning also. So some people say data pre-processing, some people say preparing data in machine learning. Now, why should we do pre-processing? Let me try to highlight without telling more of the see here. We have to make the data in synchronization with the machine learning algorithm. The main thing is we have to keep the data, make sure the algorithm is expecting, suppose the algorithm is expecting the data set to be having the values in range 0 and 1, example. Then the data set has to be rescaled so that it will be rescaled into the range of minimum value 0 and maximum value 1. So in simple words, you can see here I am highlighting machine learning algorithms are completely dependent on data. And if the data is not as per the algorithm's expectation, then we are not going to get the result properly. That's why in simple words, here you can see in my theory part, in simple words, we always need to feed right data in right scale, right format, and right features, so that the problem what we are going to give to the algorithm will be in sync and it will give the expected results. So this particular procedure, we call it as data pre-processing. Now, in data pre-processing, we have why we need data pre-processing. As I already told you, machine learning algorithms will not work. See here, machine learning algorithms don't work with raw data. The data which we are obtaining, if you directly fed them into the machine learning algorithms, they may not fit the algorithm properly. So what you have to do, you have to pre-process it, or you can say some transformation has to happen. Why we are doing pre-processing? Pre-processing is nothing but conversion of raw data into clean data set. That is what pre-processing is all about. Any doubts, participants? Any doubts in why we need pre-processing? Any doubts? Why we need pre-processing? Okay. Now let us quickly go through the hands-on session without worrying much about the theory part. Now in this coming 50 minutes or 1 hour, we are trying to understand different data pre-processing techniques using Python. Now the pre-processing techniques which I mentioned here are common irrespective of Python. 1 second, let me highlight. The pre-processing techniques which are highlighted here, like rescaling data, standardizing data, normalization of data, binarization of data, removing the mean, one hot encoding, label encoding. These 7 techniques are the basic fundamental data pre-processing techniques. In this session, I am going to explain you each and every pre-processing technique by making use of Python, right? Not audible. Somebody say not audible. Am I not audible?
Sir, audible, you can continue. Maybe the other person system problem, I think so.
Okay. I think everybody, please keep your earphones, and I think I am audible, which is fine.
Yes.
Then thank you. So let us continue about rescaling the data and other pre-processing techniques. Let me clear the annotation and let us see. Yesterday, one professor madam asked, "Sir, can I load the real-time data set into a data frame?" Yes, today my topic starts from that. Let us see data preprocessing.py. All the techniques are mentioned here. One by one, we will see. Okay, so let me uncomment the part and here let me explain you one additional library which is used for preprocessing. We all know what is pandas, right? And we all know what is NumPy. Somebody started writing annotation, so disable participants annotation. Okay. There is one package called as scikit-learn. This is a package for using data pre-processing. Scikit-learn is a library for using for data pre-processing. Now, scikit-learn is a package name, but it comes as sklearn. When you are installing scikit-learn, it comes as sklearn. That's why from sklearn dot preprocessing import min-max scaler, that is line number 9. Now, I want to explain you. Till now, we used the word import pandas, import random. Not only import, there is another concept called as from library import method. From library import method. That means, suppose you know what is import random, right? Inside import random, we have choice, we have randint, we have uniform. So when you are importing random, you can use all the methods inside the random. Not only like that, I can say from random import choice. Then what will happen? You can use only choice. Then you cannot use randint. Uniform? No. I hope everybody understand. So why we use when we have a keyword import which will import all the libraries, then why we have to use from keyword? See, if the library is huge and you are not going to use everything, then why should I import the entire library? I can also import a specific part of the library. That's why from is there. I hope everybody understand. Any doubts? Kindly please chat with me.
The screen visible not there, sir.
Screen is not there. I am sharing the screen.
Just display black.
Screen is black.
Sir, screen is done, sir. It's a problem from that side, sir. I think so.
I think the problem is not with me. Many people are able to see screen. So can please somebody please see the recipient end, right?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So is it clear why we are using from? Is it clear why I am using from? Okay. Now let us continue. Now let me clear the annotations. Now in sklearn package, let me highlight again. In sklearn package, there is one more sub package called as pre-processing. So what I am saying is from sklearn package, pre-processing sub package, there is one method called as min max scaler. What is min max scaler? Scaler here stands for scaling. Okay. Scale the data set in the range of minimum and maximum. That is what is called as min max scaler. Now, exactly I will tell you where is this minimum, where is the maximum. See here, minimum value is 0, maximum value is 1. That is what I am doing in line number 12. Before coming to line number 12, let us now see line number 5 again. Okay, I will come back to line number 12. Now you see in line number 5, earlier we used pandas.read_CSV for our own data fabricated data set. But now I have given an internet link, a HTTP link I am giving. So what it will do, read CSV, see here, read CSV not only takes the CSV file in your machine, it can also take the CSV file from the internet. Now, I am going to take one common CSV file which many people are using in the tutorials available online. That is wine quality red.csv. That is, this is a data set of red wine. I am not an alcoholic, so don't ask me so many questions about red wine, right? So jokes apart, this is a very common data set which is being used by others. Now, this data set has semicolon in the data set as a delimiter. What I am saying, in general, comma separated value will have comma as the delimiter, but as I already told you in the session 2, sometimes the delimiter may be hyphen, sometimes the delimiter can be semicolon. So this particular wine quality red CSV has a different delimiter that is not comma, but the delimiter is semicolon. Only if the delimiter is not comma, you have to explicitly tell the Python interpreter about the additional delimiter. Let me decrease the font and show you, or let me come here and show you and highlight. Now you see, everybody, read_CSV is there, and I am going to give SEP equal to semicolon. Why? Because wine quality red.csv, the real-time data set, is having semicolon as the, I am going to show you also. I have downloaded that particular CSV, but for this example, let us connect to the internet. Are we going to do anything extra for connecting to internet? No. By default, read_CSV method is capable of connecting to the internet also by the hyperlink which is provided in the read_CSV method as a one of the argument. Am I clear? Read_CSV, am I clear? Am I clear? Read_CSV. Okay. Now, let me come back and tell. let me try to highlight again. You people know what is described. Yesterday we saw it will give the description. Let us uncomment it and see, right? Now, what I am going to do is, what is DF here? DF is the output of read underscore CSV. The read CSV method, data frame is coming to DF. So, that particular DF, I am taking all the values into an array. See here, df.values means it will take all the values of the data frame and it will keep those things into an object called as array in line number 8. The df.values will come into array. Now, why I am taking this array? Let me open the wine quality CSV for you and show you what exact data set I am talking about. Let me open. I have downloaded it for data visualization purpose, and I am going to share this CSV file in the WhatsApp group, right? So this is how the wine quality CSV is coming. Everybody can see the delimiters are, this is not created by me. It is a real-time data set available in the hyperlink which I provided in the program. Now let us open in the Excel, because by default it will open in Excel, right? Let us see in Excel also how it looks like. It is taking a little time. I don't know why it takes time, but okay, let us wait. I don't know why it is taking so much of time. Professor Priyanka madam, where did you get this data set? The hyperlink is already given in the program. When I am giving you this particular program, you can also go to that particular link and you can get it. Suppose you see, you click here, it will open in the web browser. I am going to share you the program. You yourself can also go to this particular http:/archive and you will get this particular machine learning data set. I don't know why it is taking time. Let me close and open again. Or I can open from here also, right? Wine quality red.csv. One second. I don't know participants. Yes, it is open. Now it looks like this. Oh, many times now it is open. Okay, fine. So here in my program, you can see x equal to array of 0 to 8. Actually 0 to 8 is the output, our input component. Here you can see fixed acidity, volatile acidity, citric acid. These are the, I think somebody is unmuted. Please mute yourself, audience. Somebody is even there outside. I can see some traffic sound, right? That is very good. Multitasking by participants, right? That is also good. So here, quality is the output component. Quality is the output component. So that's why we are trying to slice the array in my program. 0 to 8 is input. After 8, it is output. That's what we are separating the input and output. Depending upon your data set, see now when you are going and working more on data pre-processing, you people will understand what is my input component, what is my output component. So basically the scaling is required for input component only. In this particular data set, 0 to 8th index are input component, after 8 they are output component. So I am slicing the input and output components in line number 10 and line number 11. In line number 8, I am taking the df dot values attribute, all the values. I am forming an array, and from that array is just like a list here, right? Here the name is array, but it is basically a list. How can I say it is a list? Because it is there in the it is a list basically enclosed in square brackets. So I am separating x and y. What is x? The entire data set from index 0 to 8. After 8 it is y. Now our main scaling is happening in line number 12. See here. Line number 12 says scalar equal to, means you can say ABCD equal to min max scalar. What is min max scalar? Min max scalar is a method available inside the pre-processing, and pre-processing is available in sklearn. That means it is sklearn dot pre-processing dot min max scalar. That is what I can directly use min max scalar, because I directly imported only the min max scalar from sklearn dot pre-processing. I hope everybody understood. Now, what is feature range here? Feature range means what is my minimum value of the range and what is my maximum value of the range. In general, scaling happens between 0 to 1. So whatever may be the value, it will change, it will scale those values in between 0 and 1. Okay, that is what I am defining a scalar here. See, the line number 12 is only just giving an object, and it is returning the min-max scalar method is returning into scalar object. Now, what I am doing is scalar dot fit underscore transform will actually transform the data set into a particular min-max scalar, and it is being stored in rescaled x. See, x is my input, rescaled x is my output. Okay. Now, after rescaling, what I am doing is precision equal to 6. That means it will scale the value with 6 decimal points. If you give precision equal to 3, then it will come 0.xyz, 0.abc. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, not ABC. Here ABC should be integer. Precision equal to 6 means 6 decimal values will come. Now I am printing. I cannot print all the values, right? Because the data set contains so many values. So I want to print only the first 10 records. That is what I am printing here. I am not printing the entire rescaled X. I am printing only the first 10 records. Now let me execute the program. After that, again, I will come back. If you have any doubt, I will stop and clarify your doubts. So let me summarize. In line number 5, I am reading the live data set from the internet, and I am using a method called as min-max scalar, and I am doing the rescaling of my data set. Now let us try to execute the program. It will take little time because now it is connecting to the internet and getting the data set. Even though I copied here, but I gave a hyperlink. So it is going to visit the hyperlink from the internet. So if you are executing this program, then you should also have internet. In case if you want to see, I think some more examples are coming. Let me uncomment those part. 1 second. I think, yeah. Let me put into comments and clear the screen and execute. Sorry. Now you see the describe function. One second, let me come back and explain you line number 6. What is line number 6? df dot describe. What is df? df is nothing but the data frame which we created from the live data set. df dot describe is doing this part. What it is doing? Describe is a method which will describe the data set. What is describing? See here. Let me highlight one by one. Describe is giving the count. In fixed acidity attribute, total data set count is 1599 records in the real-time data set. So there is no missing value. That's why everywhere you can see count is 1599 only. Now describe will give the mean value of fixed acidity, mean value of volatile acidity, what is the standard deviation, what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, and it will give the first quartile, second quartile, third quartile. This is what is called as describe method. This is happening from describe method of data frame. Data frame dot describe is going to give us so much of data. After that, you can see the rescaled values here. The entire values have been rescaled between 0 and 1. That is what is happening in rescaling. If you have any doubt, please ask me. Now, why we are going for rescaling? Let me tell you an example. See here, rescaling the data is useful in neural networks, optimization algorithms, those that even k nearest neighbors and weight inputs like regression, they need rescaling. So in case if you need rescaling, I told you how to implement rescaling in Python by using the min-max scalar method available in sklearn.preprocessing. Any doubts? Explain line number 13. Advantage of scaling for data. Professor Priyanka ma'am, that's what I told. There are some real-time applications like neural networks and k nearest neighbors. They are expecting the data in a one range. See, some algorithms need values in a range, suppose 0 and 1, but our data set is out of the range values are there. So we cannot simply change those values, right? So by applying a standard method, min-max scalar, it will bring the values without affecting the what do you say? Without affecting the data set. Without affecting the data set, it will bring automatically. It will bring some mathematical functions will be done, which are already inbuilt in Python. Explain line number 13. Let me explain line number 13. Okay. See, line number 12 is actually I am defining my range. Now the fit transform method will actually transform. Scalar here is only defining the range and calling the method min-max scalar. Scalar dot fit transform means transform my entire data set and fit into a the zeros, the range of 0 and 1. Can I go ahead? Explain the indexes part. Okay, K. Kishore is asking index part. Okay, let me open the data set. Let me open the data set for you. Somebody is asking the index part. 1 second. wine quality. See here, fixed acidity is index 0, volatile acidity index 1, 2, 3. 1 second, let me highlight, right? Let me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are my input parameters, and these 3 are the output parameters. For example, quality of wine is not an input, it is the output. The alcohol percentage or the quantity of alcohol is an output parameter. So when you are going to rescale, we should not rescale the entire data set. Suppose your data set is having only the input, then you can rescale everything. If your data set is having input and output attributes, then when you are rescaling, consider only the input parameters. That's why I am considering X as input and Y as output. Any more doubts? See, one Professor Seba is asking random integer versus scale. Random integer is a different thing at all. There is no scaling, is bringing the data set in the range of the given values. Random int, Professor Seba, random int is only giving random numbers. Random int is only giving random numbers. Scaling means bringing the content into our range of values. Any more doubts? Okay, let me continue. Let us go to the another part of pre-processing, right? The second pre-processing technique is standardizing data. Now, what is standardizing? It is very simple. Standardizing means transforming the attributes with a mean 0 and standard deviation 1. That means we are bringing a Gaussian curve in our data set. If you want to bring them to fit into a Gaussian distribution, then what you have to do is we can standardize the data. We can standardize the data. Then why we have to standardize the data? Let us see. I hope the theory part is already written, right? With bringing mean of 0 and standard deviation of 1, right? What is the output of standardizing? We are actually bringing the attributes within a Gaussian distribution. Now, why it is useful, where it is useful? This is useful when you want to have a linear regression, logistic regression. That linear regression and logistic regression techniques are expecting the input to be in a Gaussian distribution. So if the data set is already in the Gaussian distribution, then it's okay. Otherwise, you can standardize the data, which is another part of data pre-processing. Now, let us see the same thing. Okay, here don't worry about the outputs, because output is only a outcome of the method that we are using. So let me comment this part. Now I uncommented standardization. Now, what is standardization? I already told you, bringing the range of values into 0 and 1 is rescaling, but making the values to be with mean 0 and standard deviation 1 to be applicable as a Gaussian curve, like bell curve, that is called as standardization. So for that we have another method. See here, every participant who is new to Python, they will appreciate for each and every data pre-processing technique, there is a library which is available. That's why many people are definitely think that Python is easy. Python is easy because we should not worry about how can I bring the standardization, because standardization method is already available. You worry about only your particular business logic, not the standard libraries, because so many standard libraries are available. So there is one method called as standard scaler, which is used for standardizing the data. So the same 22 to 26 lines are exactly same. Now what I am doing, my scalar is standard scalar dot fit the x and then transform. Fit the values for a standardization method like standard scalar. Then that object scalar dot transform my x, and I am catching into rescaled object. That's all. Very simple. Only 2 lines. Every time you have to define the pre-processing, and from that object you have to transform. Right? These are only a syntax part. That dot fit we have to call, and that dot transform we have to call. These are only the syntax which you can go and become familiar on that. Right? Now let us see the output of this particular program. See, I cannot explain so many concepts, but that's why I am taking a single data set and I am trying to give one idea to all the, I think it is not saved. Yeah, it is not saved. That's why the earlier output is coming. So let me execute again. See here, the expectation of this particular session is to give an idea of how to use data preprocessing, what are the methods available in data preprocessing for each and every technique. So you can go and practice more and more. So I am not going to explain the output here. Automatically, my data set has been converted into a values where the mean is 0 and standard deviation is 1. So automatically, this particular data set, if you, in the next session, I am going to use the same data set. I am going to plot histogram. I am going to plot density plot. When you are going to plot density plot, then you can understand it will come as a bell curve example, right? So now let me go ahead. If you have any doubts,